Welcome back, and joining us on the show now is Surendra Mehta. He's director at IBJA. Mr. Mehta, hi, thank you so much for joining in. And while, of course, the first quarter of gold imports was slightly on a weaker side, we did see it gaining up in the month of March, but that perhaps was ahead of Akshaya Tritiya. How is April looking like, and what's your sense also on May? Before we get on to the CEPA part, what is the overall imports that you see?
Manisha, after the fall in the gold prices, almost from $3,500 to now $3,200, the consumer behavior has been good, and now the the buyers are coming in the market. Overall, I can say that after Akshaya Tritiya, the sales have picked up very well as the buyers feel that the prices may again go higher and they may lose an opportunity to buy at the lower prices, because the buyers have already seen in Indian rupees, they have already seen prices almost up to 1 lakh rupees. And now the same gold is available for about, including GST, for about 94,000, 95,000.
Let's talk about CEPA then, and this was allowed in 2022, and we've seen it become quite a rage as we see more and more applications come in every year as well. So now that we have the quota of 180 tons for 25-26 and various rejections as well, as we see, because clearly people have over-tendered onto this one. What is your sense? Would you say that the next season, or perhaps the current season, will be all about CEPA imports, TRQ imports, that is?
Under the UAE CEPA agreement, India is allowed to import 180 tons of gold. About 2,960 applications were received by the government for this quota, wherein we get gold at 1% lesser duty. But 1,400 applications got rejected because they were having turnover below average turnover of last preceding 3 years, below 25 crore. Now, the issue is these applications should not have been rejected, because the government itself have ignored their own public notice of 17th April 2023. Anyway, about your question about the next decade will be definitely about UAE CEPA. We are also entering into agreement with the US, and we understand that this will be something like similar kind of agreement, wherein probably we'll have about 200 tons of gold from USA with 1% lesser duty. So, of course, to answer your question, yes, the next 2025-26 is likely to be more about 1% less duty, maybe CEPA or maybe any other kind of agreement.
Okay, you talked about US, and is that the conversation going on? Are we going to be importing gold from US under a comprehensive treaty as well? I mean, are there any conversations there?
Yeah, there are conversations, but nothing official as yet. But we have understood that this kind of agreement are in place, because that is how we can reduce the overall US tariff impact.
Mr. Mehta, just coming back to what you made a mention of earlier, that 1,400 applications which were rejected perhaps should not have been gone that way. Is there any conversation that you're doing with the ministry?
Yeah, definitely. The quota has been allotted yesterday. We already returned to the ministry that while making an application, the rule was that 25 crore rupees turnover limit was not required. And thereafter, that rule has suddenly been changed. The fact is the DGFT has allotted quota based on 2022 public notice, while in 2023, that public notice itself was deleted. So that 25 crore rupees turnover limit was deleted. The point is, these 1,400 people are very small people. They have paid 1 lakh rupees for an application. So the DGFT has gained 14 crore rupees by rejecting 1,400 applications. This should not have been the case. Had they known it earlier that below 25 crore rupees our application will be rejected, they would not have applied at all.
Also, that money also is forfeited. That also does not come back.
Yes, Manisha.
Mr. Mehta, also, I was just going through one of those applications, and you have to put in a purpose of why you are importing this gold, whether it's for manufacturing, for trading, or both, etc. Is there any information that IBJA also has in sense of how many have put in these applications for trading purpose or manufacturing?
No, these data have not been released by the DGFT, so even we are not having exact those data with us. But to inform you that for the import of jewelry, only 1,700 applications were received. But for import of bullion, which may be for trading purpose or for manufacturing purpose, 2,960 applications were.
Mr. Mehta, what is your sense on the overall imports? I mean, from what we've seen in the first quarter of this calendar year, and as soon as the new financial year is started, we also have this quota now being allotted. Would you say that at these current prices, CEPA is perhaps the first thing to get exhausted right now? Would you see much more golds first coming in via this way?
See, for CEPA to get exhausted, there has to be a level, either a no premium in the market or at least some premium in the market. The currently market itself is in discount, so there is no advantage in CEPA. But most of the time we have seen this situation improves after July month, and we feel that CEPA will be the first thing to get exhausted between July to September.
Point taken. Mr. Mehta, thank you so much for joining in, giving us all those details about Indian gold imports and, of course, via CEPA as well. And then we also have seen markets continue to do dealings with US as well.
Absolutely, Manisha. Thank you so much for that. An interesting conversation there. But with that, we're absolutely out of time on this edition of Halftime Report on CNBC TV 18. Thank you so much for tuning in. Up next, your Business Lunch.